Many Clark County school campuses are wide open without even the most basic security, and CCSD only has about 140 school police to patrol some 360 school campuses and dozens of administration office buildings. Is it time to allow teachers to carry concealed firearms? Welcome back to Our View. This is Megan Barth and my co-host Samira Knight and our guest Danielle Ford, who's running in School Board District F. And before the break, we were talking about school choice, we were talking about social issues in schools, and now we must talk about school safety. This is probably one of the most political and compelling and timely topics right now, specifically coming off the Parkland shooting and just really what our country has been going through. So the question is should teachers be allowed to arm themselves? Should they be allowed to conceal carry?
That's one aspect of the way to protect our students, but I'll just say as a parent, everything that is important that we're talking about, whether that's, transgender or the budget or school choice, what does that matter if there's a threat of somebody going into our school and hurting our kids? What does the rest of it even matter? Like, why would I even send my kids to school in the first place?
Right, so the question is, should teachers be allowed to conceal carry?
I don't think so at this moment. I think that we need to focus our priorities on actual security, like cameras, like gates, like lighting, and more police.
More police, so is that in the form of school resource officers? Because there was a school resource officer at Parkland who actually hid behind the bushes and hid behind cars and didn't do his job.
If a school resource officer did that, what makes you think that a teacher won't?
So then that's the question about they're asking for more money, which where are they going to get it
Who's asking for more money?
The school district police. So they're asking for more funding for more for being able to cover. Now there was also the issues, should they be part of Metro instead of being actually part of the school district? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that lift the funding from the school district?
That's a great question. That's something I've asked a million times.
And then on top of that, if the funding goes to, to my opinion, if the funding goes to Metro, it's probably going to be better handled than actually what the school district is actually doing right now. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think that would make more sense because I don't think that the school district knows how to handle anything.
Well, they already blew through $1 billion of new taxes in the schools, so I really don't.
Yeah, well, it's all top heavy, and then they cut it from
right.
like
how many
the bottom
administrators do we need per school district?
That make $100 and something $1,000, and they can't even make a proficient school.
So I think,
agree with that.
Funding aside, I think that you made a good point. If the school resource officer hid behind a car, hid behind bushes, what's to say that a teacher isn't? However, school resources officers are normally policemen, retired veterans, people who are used to and being trained to face violence directly and take a proactive stance against the threat, mm-hmm. right? They approach the threat, they don't retreat from the threat.
Right.
Whereas, perhaps a teacher who does not have that background in training, who simply is trained in how to use the firearm, because you don't know what the situation's going to be, you don't know how you're going to react
There's
until
so
you get
many
into
variables that could happen, and to me, I understand why. If it was maybe a military trained teacher, that would be maybe a case-by-case basis. However, I don't want crossfire. I don't want a teacher shooting from the desk across the students to the shooter. I don't want a kid disarming a teacher. I don't want the teacher to get shot and now the gun is left with the students there. There's so many variables that could potentially happen, and I'd rather focus on just getting the doors locked or getting gates on the school. So
but there's been so many. There are some schools that actually, the principal, the dean, and some of the teachers who actually have been trained, and they actually keep open carry, meaning they have it showing, they walk around with it on their belt, and they said that it's reduced even violence in their school. So you're not giving just anybody the gun. Obviously, liability, I'm an attorney, so liability-wise, whoever they're going to give the gun to, they're going to have to go through the proper channels, the proper training, and they're going to have to be ready to pull the trigger. And that's, so you're not just handing people guns and just saying, hey, let's just have guns in our school.
So what are you asking? Are you asking me if I think that, Mrs. Robinson, the 54-year-old teacher who loves students, can go get trained to carry a gun and now have that in their classroom
well, she
and
has
get
to get
$500
approved.
a month? Or are you asking me
Who
if
gets $500 a month?
That's what is proposed. The teachers get an extra $500 a month for carrying. Or is it the principal who's a retired,
Why the hell
who's
would
a
they
vet?
get $500 extra a month for carrying?
Okay, and that's going to encourage them to want
I
to go do
carry
that.
every day. No one's paying me, and no one's going to.
But I mean,
No
there
one's
are
going to
certain
say, "Hey,
people-
thanks for stopping the
there's-
robber
there's-
at the local, bank or whatever."
But the school
There's
district doesn't
certain
have a
people I'd be okay with it.
responsibility. The school district-
$500 extra a month? Are you? How?
Can we put that money
How
towards
much
gates
hubris
and locks
does
and
that
cameras?
take?
Well, that's
I will tell you what. I would rather give a cop an extra $500
Thank
a month.
you. Yes, absolutely. Anyone who needs a second
Where's
job
that
so they
money
don't have to
coming
go
from?
drive
I
for
don't
Uber.
know.
I'm sorry, wait, we're going to get
Extra
school costs and we're taking...
That's what I've been
Do you
asking
know
the whole
what?
time.
Honest to God, if you did dangle the carrot of $500 extra a month, the
Every
CCW
teacher
class,
would-
oh my God, teachers would be busting down the door. Maybe
you.
actually I
Yes.
agree with it.
But I mean,
because
I'm
then we would have more
and
teachers.
I'm open to having it. I'm just, logically, they're not going to just give guns to anybody. But I
No.
mean, if you're going to be
gotta
carrying
go
a
through all the
500,
checks like I did.
mean, I don't know, but
Yeah.
$500 like extra a month, I don't know. That doesn't make
All right,
sense
well, we
to
need
me.
to make $500 during this break. So we'll be right
Doable.
back. Just stay tuned, and we'll get back with some personal issues. She's being attacked personally. It's a school board election. You got to be kidding me. Stay tuned.
But isn't the real issue here?
No, the real issue. No. Your cousins would have been losers anyway.
Oh!
Caused that.
And they cover their face because they're nothing but a bunch of cowards.
So I'm calling bullshit